Hey, what's going on there, people of YouTube? It's Jay here again. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about yet another one of my Apple fails. It seems that a lot of the videos that I make regarding Apple are due to failures that I have in either trying to do something with an Apple product or whatever it is. Some of my most popular Apple videos were the ones about the iPhone upgrade program, which I tried to join sometime back and failed because I was on a business account, which led me to kind of look into it a little bit more and then make the first video a year ago and the second video about a month ago. So something else happened recently that I wanted to point out to some people as a little bit of a disclaimer to something that Apple does, something that Apple sells, and I thought that again, this is one of those things that has never been talked about or has never really come up before, and I just wanted to point it out to some people. So the first thing I'll introduce you to is my new iPad Air 2 that I just picked up at Best Buy. It was on sale for 75 off. I put the OtterBox Defender on it too. Beautiful case, and don't have to worry about ever buying another case again, right? It's pretty much done. So the iPad Air 2 is still a very good machine even in 2016. And as I said, it was $75 off at Best Buy. But my plan when I went there was to try to trade some stuff in. So those of you who remember my video pitting all three iPads against each other, the iPad 1, the 2, and the 4, I still had the 1 and 2 kind of laying around. I was actually trying to sell the iPad mini 1 sometime back, but didn't work out. And so then I had the iPad mini 2, and then the sale came up at Best Buy. So I just decided, let me just take everything that I own, take it to Best Buy, trade it all in towards the iPad Air 2. And generally they were given, I think, $75 for the iPad mini 1, $107 for the 2. Obviously those two things together was like $180 some dollars, and I figured, hey, you only have to spend like $150 with taxes left over for the iPad Air 2. I'll take it. So I went there with my stuff, and it didn't work out, and I'll explain to you why. The iPad mini 1 was fine. It was a new machine when it was bought, so there was no problem there. The iPad mini 2, however, was this. Okay, and if you're wondering why the box looks a little bit different, it does look different because I bought this certified refurbished from Apple.com. This iPad mini 2 is literally totally fine. It's 100%, right? Works and everything. Turns on. I even updated it to iOS 10.0.2. Have the stuff in there and everything. Brought it there, and they would not trade it in. And I'll tell you the story. So, like I said, the iPad mini 1, everything went through fine for it, and there was no problem trading it in. But then when we started to look into the iPad mini 2, he was having trouble getting it to go through the computer. So he started asking me a couple questions. He asked me if I'd bought it overseas, and I said, no, I didn't buy it overseas. I bought it from Apple.com, but I did buy it refurbished. And he said, he kind of got this faraway look for a second, said that might be the problem. So he called his manager, and his manager then also didn't know the answer to the question, so decided to call the Apple rep for the area, and the Apple rep told them that because it was a certified refurbished model and it was not an original, that they were not going to accept the trade-in. So that's a little bit of information I probably would have liked to have known up front about the refurbished machine. Buying a refurbished item is often a little bit of a time or money saver. You're going to save maybe 15, 25% depending on what you're buying on Apple's website. You're also buying it from Apple, and it still has the 1-year warranty. So you are buying it with kind of the understanding that it's still under Apple's umbrella. But what you don't know is that when you want to take this to an outside retailer or even to Apple itself, they will not accept it as a trade-in. Now, refurbished items generally are, I call them like Frankensteins of the original. So, like, let's say that they have 3 iPads and one has a busted screen, the other one, the Wi-Fi antenna doesn't work, and another one, maybe the battery doesn't work. They take the components from all 3 and they put them together into one Frankenstein instead of just throwing it all out. And then they resell it repackaged, and apparently with a brand new model number as an Apple certified refurbished iPad mini. And it comes in a box like this. And if you buy an iPad Air, if you buy a bigger iPad, it'll still have the grayed out kind of look to it so that it denotes the difference between the new and the refurbished models. The model number for the original was ME, and then the numbers, I think it's 276LL/A. But if you look at the model number for this, it's actually FE 276LL/A. Still has the same model number, like A1489, but as far as the part number, it's a different number. So how interesting is that? So they wouldn't accept the trade-in, so now I'm currently trying to sell it on the open market, because what else am I going to do, right? So again, that was just something that I probably would have liked to have known up front. And that's just a little bit of a disclaimer. While you are saving money on the front end on this device, buying it from Apple Certified Refurbished, if you are the type of person that likes to trade in your devices to upgrade to better devices down the road, maybe 1 or 2 years down the road, I would definitely keep that in mind, because obviously you're going to have a problem trading in your refurbished device. So if this was a helpful video, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and thanks for watching.